Oh, yeah!
What the? How long was I asleep? What year is it? Did the Bills win the Super Bowl? Oh well. We got a lot to catch up on. T-Bone's back. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? T-Bone is back. Welcome to a whole new episode of T-Bone's Bar. I'm T-Bone, and today I've been gone for a long time.
Where the hell have you been?
It's been probably over a year since I posted a video. I think the last time I posted it was 2023 Phoenix White Sparkle Pack was what I opened. And, I haven't ripped any 2024 product on camera. I mean, I have done some off camera.
You cheeky bastard.
But, it's been tough to kind of jump back in. I've been away a little bit. Like I said, I've still been ripping some product, but not as much as I have been in the past. Unfortunately, the hobby's kind of crazy where it is right now. There's a ton of product out there. Everybody's opening it. You can buy singles pretty cheap. And it just, the value in ripping retail just really isn't there. But anyway, I mean, we're still here. We're going to talk about some other stuff similar to the hobby today. And, maybe if you're lucky, maybe we'll rip something open at the very end. Yes. But if you're new here and you haven't seen one of my videos before we get into anything, if you would, go ahead and give this video a like and go ahead and put a comment in there. Let me know if you've been hitting any 2024 stuff. And as always, if you could give me a subscription, that would be great as well. But anyway, I'm sure you're wondering, what's going on? T-Bone, what are we going to do today if we're not going to be ripping open product? And today I've got a PSA slab. And what we're going to do today is we're going to break this slab open and get that card out of there.
Smash it! Smash it! Smash it!
And I've never done that before. So we're going to kind of go through and we're going to learn about this together. And to the people that are relatively new, may not be too familiar with what grading is, you can get your cards, you can send them into different types of companies. What they will do is they'll try to clean your card up a little bit, nothing too much, and they'll grade it, based on a scale from 0 to 10 usually, and obviously, 10 being the highest. And when something grades as high as a 10, obviously that's the best shape the card can be in. So that creates some added value to it. And collectors will more likely buy a highly graded card. And, there's certain stuff out there that, sells high. There's a lot of stuff like older stuff that's pretty tough to get in Gem Mint 10 grading. And you'll see a lot of lower graded stuff. And as you can see with mine here, I've got a Josh Allen, and this was one, obviously I collect Josh Allen cards, so this was one that I wanted to get. I was able to get it super cheap because this, as you can see, is a PSA 6. And like I was saying, there are many different companies. This is, you can see right in the middle, this is a PSA graded card. There's other ones like Beckett, was it SCGC or SGC, is it? JSA, there's tons of different ones. PSA, is one of the ones that everyone, kind of trusts most of all. It's considered more like the Cadillac of one of the grading system or grading companies. You may not necessarily agree with that, but throughout the hobby, that's one thing kind of people agree as a standard. PSA is going to be one of the best graded cards that you can get. Anyway, so like I said, we're gonna rip into this. It wasn't a big deal. Like I said, I am trying to collect this card, and I got it cheap because it was a PSA 6. And I've heard a lot of speculation about PSA, especially lately. They're getting a lot of slack for people sending stuff in, cards go missing. They say they get a card, which is something different than what you sent in. What they do is when they get the card, they will scan it and send you a picture of it. So you kind of see what condition it is when they get it, and then you get it back. And a lot of people have been posting, they'll post their card that gets scanned in and it's got a nice picture, the card's in great condition. They get it back, it's a PSA 5 or 4. There's like a big crease right down the middle. The corners are folded over. There's a lot of issues. If you search online, there's a lot of issues with people with PSA that are like, hey, these cards are getting damaged after they get sent in. Things go missing. And, people have a lot of problems with PSA, and PSA usually doesn't really care too much. They just kind of say, hey, deal with it. We're the Cadillac of grading, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Just gonna sit here and take it.
Another big thing about grading is, you'll send in a card and you have to pay a flat fee to get these things graded. And then sometimes if they grade it a 10 and they feel your card is very valuable, they will upcharge you. So, you pay thinking, hey, I'm paying for your service, where they say, hey, this card's really valuable and we're going to charge you more because you're going to make more money off of selling this as a 10. So that's, it's one of those bittersweet things where you're like, hey, I'm getting upcharged a lot more, hundreds of dollars, meaning, your card's probably grading well and going to be very valuable, but hey, that kind of stinks to eat into the profit if it's, they're going to grade it and then charge you more based on what they grade it. Because obviously everyone wants the 10, but you don't want to pay more for what you're doing there. And, I personally have actually never sent anything in to PSA to be graded. That's something I was looking to do. I was trying to get a pile of cards because I think they, for a person in the hobby like me who kind of does this secondhand, I think they only take like a minimum of 20 cards submission, and they charge I think it's like $15 to $20 per card to get graded. And then if you get a 10 and it's graded, it seems to be a valuable card, they're going to upsell it, upcharge you even more, or hold your stuff ransom. They basically have all your cards and they say, hey, we're going to charge you more. You don't want to pay it? Then you're never getting your cards back. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So it's tough. There's been a lot of trouble with PSA. Also, a lot of people are looking, they feel like they're not even looking at the cards. People get ones with a 10 and there's clearly worn issues on the card where they have another card that they got graded of the exact same and it got an 8 or a 9 and it's in better shape than the one that people like you and I can visibly see that the card that got a 10 is in worse shape than the other ones. So there seems to be a lot of issues with quality control. Like I said, it put a bad taste in my mouth. I was going to send in a submission and now I'm worried, I'm going to lose cards. I'm going to get crappy grades. It's going to just be, I'm going to get charged even more than what I was expecting. And it's, it stinks. It really puts a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm considering going to another company. Obviously, you send in graded cards and it can really multiply the value of your cards by a lot. So it's one of the better things to do to get your cards graded, especially someone like me who opens them retail, that can, you can take a smaller card that's worth the decent amount and getting a PSA 10 and multiplies that value a lot. So I'm going to reconsider, hopefully I'll do a submission video at some point. I'm leaning kind of going towards Beckett right now. It's tough. Beckett, one of the things, they show here, they give, the year, what the card is, the name. It'll usually tell you if it's a parallel or something. This happened to be a numbered one, and I thought it was some sort of like silver parallel type, but it's just a Spectra. There's nothing special about it. So the name is correct that's on there. So it'll usually tell you specifically what type of parallels you have, and then it just pretty much tells you the grade of what they graded it. And even a 6 is considered excellent mint condition, so it's still a decent card. And that was another thing that kind of worried me about sending these in. Was I got this and it was a PSA 6, and I was looking at it, I was like, what's wrong with the card to make it a 6 versus a 10? I was looking at the corners and everything. All the corners look really sharp on this, and for the most part, the condition looks good. And it took me a while, and I was really worried about sending stuff in because I was like, you could send something in that looks really good and they'll slap a 6 on it and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you look hard enough, you can see, there it is right by his name there. There's a little thumbprint that's on there, little thumb indentation, and you know, that's the only flaw that I can really see on this card, is that little, you can kind of see, you can see it well in person. I'm trying to get it in the light here, but that's really the only thing that I can see. That's the problem. You know, for the most part, this is a card you can't really tell if it's centered well or not, but anyway, that's the reason it's the PSA 6. So let's rip into this thing, is the whole reason what we're here for. And a lot of times, you know, you can, why people do this is, you know, you get a crappy grade like this, you know, what's the point of having it? There's probably no way I could resell this. Like I said, I bought this because I'm just collecting the card. I want this this Spectra card. And for those who collect Spectra, Spectra has usually 2 variations of a card. So I found that out recently with my Josh Allen collection. I have to pick up more Spectra cards. But anyway, I'm gonna crack this one open. People crack these open. You know, like I said, if you don't like the grade, you might be able to crack this open and sell it. You know, people may not, would consider it more 7 or 8 and don't want to see that 6 on there. Or, you know, if you were really mad at the grade, if it was a 9 and you really couldn't tell why, because usually they don't give you too much of an explanation. They say, yeah, that's the grade, deal with it. You know, that's what you have to do. So a lot of, you know, I see people that crack these open, they resubmit them. Sometimes they'll get a higher grade, sometimes they'll get a lower grade for doing that. So it's one of those things. I'm not going to resubmit this. Like I said, I'm cracking this open. I just want the card. I'm going to put it in, you know, my collection and have it. And it'll be special now because now it's a video where we cracked open my first PSA card. So anyway, I've never done this before. I hope I don't jack this card up even worse than it's already, the condition that it's already in. But let's rip into this thing. And I've seen this done on other videos. You know, there are other people that do these things. Believe it or not, I'm not the only one. And you essentially you're gonna need a couple tools. Got myself a nice I've got wire cutters here. You know, essentially what you want something, you don't want something to crack kind of the little tip off here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the top here. We're gonna crack this little knob off and then try to pull the actual plastic open from there. You know, we're not worried about any of this part here. We just kind of wanted to keep the actual card in somewhat decent shape from there. And then I've got my needle nose pliers here as well. Got my nice rusty tools. Hopefully I don't get any tetanus or anything while doing this. So if there's any kids watching at home, don't do this without parents' guidance. Someone super intelligent like T-Bone, or you know, somebody, an older brother who's a brother or sister who knows what they're doing. But yeah, so yeah, let's see what happens. Anybody think I'm gonna jack this card up even more so? Get in the comments, let me know. Hey T-Bone, I think you're gonna mess that card up. Leave it in there, don't be a fool. But like I said, who cares? You know, this is just a PSA 6. This isn't a very expensive card or anything, so I'm not really out a couple bucks or something if we were to actually completely destroy this. So I'm a little nervous because you know, I'm not used to damaging these things, but I've been sitting on this a while and thought cracking it open would be make a decent video. So all right, let's just get into it. I'm stalling here, so I'm gonna go to the corner. I should probably have some safety eye goggles on. Ugh, it's a little tough. Make sure you got nice sharp tool.
Use your man muscles.
Can't get it. There we go. So it was tough. I might have just kind of pinched it more. So it's not really necessarily open. We kind of have a little, you know, crease in there. So I'm going to try to get it a little closer. All right, we got that chunk off. All right, so I think we're kind of done with our kind of wire cutters there. And so now we essentially are just going to try to crack this thing so it'll pop open. All right, well, it's a lot tougher than I expected, but so obviously you see these things are not meant to be opened. So you can see I've got it kind of cracked here. I'm just kind of hoping it'll pop right on open here any second. All right, well, we'll get there. Put this in time lapse. go. So now we've got I've got it kind of cracked into where the card is. There we go. So now it's a little more similar, kind of like an actual card sleeve. So I'll try to keep it. So here's our little tag there. Doesn't look like I can really reuse that. So I've never actually seen how these things look in there. So it does have kind of like a little, it's got like a, it's like another like pen or not, like a hard sleeve. There we go. Eesh. There we go. So you can see we got it open. The card's got like another like hard cover over it. We got this little piece here. Let's see if we can kind of. You see, I've got this. I'm gonna try to slide that out. There we go. So now we're all done with that case there, and then we've got this little. So see, here's the little sleeve that it's in. So hey, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's like easy, whatever.
For my first one, it took a long time, but I'd say we got it out in decent shape. You know, fortunately it was a PSA 6, so like I said, now that we've got it out, might be able to see that little dimple. Yeah, there it is right by the name there a little bit. So we got it. Let's put it into a sleeve there. Whoops. And get them into its own. So now that's part of my collection there. I got it for a nice price because it was a PSA 6 there. So that was pretty cool. It wasn't that difficult. That's not something I would really do very often. You know, I don't think that's something, you know, you can buy something in a 9, crack it open, and it's a good idea to send it in like you'll get a 10. That's something I feel like, you know, you're not something you wouldn't want to do very often, but figured it's be worth a try here on the channel. So, like I said, we don't really have anything to open, but I mean, you know, that's not really T-Bone style. We got to open something. What's this I just got here sitting to the side? It's 2024's Prism. We got one of the value packs here. It's tough to say, you know, Prism came out and you can get the, you know, the regular base blaster, you can get the hobby box, you can get these value fat packs, or you can get the hanger boxes as well. And these ones, the blaster boxes, it's tough to see, don't really have too much going on there. Let's try to get it to focus. But you gotta really focus on some small print there. I don't think that's gonna focus. It's so small there. Nope, come on, any day now. Come on, get in there. But like I said, there's really isn't anything. There's no numbered cards that we're looking. The blaster boxes, that's one of the big arguments. You know, you're just looking at the disco parallels, the silvers. You might be able to get lucky and pull one of the red or blue exclusive that are to retail there, but that's very difficult to pull. They're very short printed, and they're not even numbered from there. These doesn't look like there's any numbered cards or anything like I was saying. You can get autographs though. There are base autographs, Prism Silver in here. So that's definitely a step up. You can't get any autographs in the Prism Blasters. The Mega Boxes, a lot of those have the pink Prism or the green Pulsar. And again, I don't think you can get autographs in those. I think you get a mem card, and I forget what the big chase is in those as well. And these, like I was saying, it doesn't look like much. We got the red, the base silver, red, white, and blue, and then I'm going to look possibly at green. So not much. Well, we're looking hopefully to get a silver autograph from there. But the red, white, and blues, I think those are super cool. They're actually the old traditional style, the 2018, when Josh Allen was his rookie card. I got the rookie of his, the red, white, and blue, which is like kind of like that old like barber's shop looking stripe, red, white, and blue. But anyway, let's rip into this. I was about to say something there, but obviously, you know, I'm trying to think. I don't have too much. I was gonna say I don't have too many Bills cards from Panini Prism, but looks like we got ourselves a Marv Levy right there. And you can kind of take a sneak to the side there. So yeah, we've got our greens, we've got our 3 red, white, and blues. And we do have a silver on there, so maybe we'll get lucky. That'll be an autograph. Like I was saying, I don't have too many Bills cards on Prism here. I did get the Keon autograph. I don't have the Keon base or anything, and I've got the Josh Allen, the green wave. I don't have the base or red, white, and blue or anything. So let's see what we got. We got a Marv Levy there. It's been a while since he did any coaching. And we got Terrell Davis. We got Keenan Allen. Andy Reid. I don't know what I think about these coaches and the cards. I mean, I guess it's cool to get Marv Levy, but, you know, not even a Coach McDermott or anything. So we got 3 more, looks like, until our silver. Got Christian Watson. I think we might get a rookie before the silver. Probably not. I think the rookie's at the end. So too bad, or the commander. And so here's our silver and non-rookie. So we've got... is that Detroit there? Maybe, yeah, Barry Sanders. So not too bad on the silver. Nice Hall of Famer there. And let's see, what do we have here for a green? Ooh, we got a rookie, so let's kind of sweat that one. Let's go to our first red, white, and blue. Probably won't be a rookie. We got Puka on a second year. And next one, ooh, Commanders again. Manuel Forbes. And we probably got ourselves, we probably have a rookie here as well. Yep, red, white, and blue. So let's sweat these. And we've got a Max Crosby there on the hype insert. And then we should have a base rookie, I'm assuming, in the back. Could be Jaguars, but that doesn't look like Marvin, or not Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas. We've got Jordan Jefferson on the base rookie. And then we've got a green that might be, looks like it's going to be an insert. Saw kind of a glimpse of the name. Maybe that was just the Green Bay Packers. So who might be? Hopefully Jordan Love, but rookie on the emergent, Marshawn Lloyd. So tough one there, but let's see. Let's start with, let's see who our red, white, and blue rookie is. And so let's see. So yeah, we definitely got a rookie. See what the team is. Ooh, Denver. Oh, come on, Bo Nix. Come on. Ah, who's that? Jonah Elis, is it? Ah. So, all right, we got one more sweat on a green. So I got one more sweat on the green. That's why I like these the value packs. You know, you get the the silvers, the greens, those red, white, and blues. So we got another rookie sweat for Baltimore. I don't know. Nate Wiggins. So pretty good. Nothing huge. A whole lot of base cards. Like I said, those value packs are cool, though. Nothing huge. Marv Levy was my most favorite card that we got there. The Barry Sanders silver, that was pretty good. We did get 2 rookie. You get 2 rookie parallels, a handful of other parallels as well. We got some decent names and some decent collectible cards there. So, hey. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining T-Bone again. He's been on a vacation too long. He's going to try to get back into more videos here, maybe opening up some more product and doing some weird things related to the hobby like we did with cracking open PSAs today. But again, if you could go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe, and go ahead and get in the comments. What do you think about ripping graded cards open? Is it something you ever done? Do you really see any purpose of it other than just being angry about what the grade is that you got, or if you really think you're confident that you're going to get a better grade trying to send it back in, or maybe even better with a different company. But I'll keep you updated if I send into PSA or to Beckett, and we'll see how these submissions go, and maybe I'll try to track the procedure so people that aren't too familiar with it can check it out the channel and see some more. So anyway, thanks again for joining us. Check us out again on the next video, and come on back to T-Bone's Bar. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.